Welcome viewers, you're watching Nltv News now. Let's first go through the headlines. Nagaland Chief Minister Naypyidaw Rio lays copy of report on introduction of government resolution on the secularization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of Security Interest Act 2002 during the 9th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly. Probe was ordered late Wednesday after a document containing details of security arrangements for President Ramnath Kovind's two-day visit to Kanpur surfaced on some WhatsApp groups. Narcotics Cell PS personnel on Wednesday arrested two persons at the narcotic checkpoint Kuzama. The PS personnel detected and seized 48 kg and 980 grams of suspected opium. Deputy Commissioner Kohima Gregory Tejawaliye has informed that a special e-ashram registration drive for shopkeepers, business, EST drivers, artisans and craftspersons will be held on 27th November at different locations in Kohima. Strong earthquake of 6.1 magnitude hits India-Myanmar border. Tremors felt in Kolkata, Guwahati. Earthquake reported at 5:15 am with its epicenter at depth of 73 kilometers southeast of Tenzoal, Mizoram. And now the news in detail. 9th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly began on 25th of November at the NLA Secretariat, Kohima. During the 9th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly, Chief Minister of Nagaland and Chairman of the Select Committee, Naypyidaw Rio, laid a copy of the report on the introduction of government resolution on the secularization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of Security Interest Act 2002. Minister Transport, Civil Aviation and Railway Paiwang Konyak said Tizuzungki River, which was declared as National Waterway 101 as per the National Waterway Act on 26th March 2016 and to develop the river as an inland water corridor. The project will have to be implemented by the Nagaland Inland Waterways Board and to be implemented in 3 phases. Replying to NPF MLA Yata Chu on the present status of waterways project over Tizu River, Paiwang said Ministry of Civil Aviation, Railways, Ports, Shipping and Waterways Sarbananda Sonowal gave an assurance that the project will be taken up. If the board prioritized proposal to start the project is submitted on 28th, RD blocks which are functioning without banks. Naypyidaw Rio informed that the government is in process of negotiating with the various banking institutions to establish the banking facility.
In favor of an indigenous persons and none else. 6th, now therefore keeping in view the above position with a view to provide clarity to the implementing agencies, the Nagaland Legislative Assembly hereby passes a resolution for implementing the Sarvasi Act 2002 in Nagaland in accordance with the explanation provided in the proceedings for us. Thank you.
We have just this one inland waterways. If it can come about, will be the only way which will connect with the Southeast Asian countries under the government of India's Act East policy. And I'm very happy that the present minister is very efficient. He has been pursuing and taking up the matter. However, this is a subject matter which will even involve the two countries, India and Myanmar. And whether we like it or not, most of the trade items originating will be from Guwahati.
Pull up the shop of the department and take up the matter. Because there may be so many other transport also. I mean the waterways. Like Barak River is passing through this Bangladesh. So the Barak River also can be another ways of transport towards this Bangladesh. But one example, starting with one waterways, I think we should take out the matter seriously. Because among all the transport system, waterways is the cheapest and a large volume of quantity, heavy machinery, or even to the extent of this carrying, and a large volume of quantity, heavy machinery, or even to the extent of this carrying this wood logs from country to country is transported by ship. So these waterways, importance of waterways should be taken seriously by the department, and when the government of India is agreeable to the proposal, why we should delay further? So I request the concerned department to take up the matter seriously and submit the DPR as soon as possible to ease out the people of the state. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As the honourable member had stated that goods exchange should be at Kohima instead of Dimapur, I also agree to that. And sir, this time, for the knowledge of the...
Every school, every teacher-student ratio is there. However, Nagaland is one state. In fact, most of the northeast states are very peculiar in situation. Our villages are located in interior areas. Now there are poor people who can't come to the urban areas to study. So though the enrollment is low, we have to give them the standard number of teachers. In this regard, which our Honourable MLA Mr. Nltv had mentioned is correct. Yes, the figures may not exactly tally because some may have retired, but these are the figures of the department that has been reflected in our reply. So now, though we may appear to have excess teachers, we cannot, make one teacher teach another subject. There we have a requirement. Now, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we have not been able to appoint many teachers. Many have retired, some have died. There is a lot of pressure from all the schools. Yes, I know, enrollment is low, but we have to give them the teachers, especially the primary and the middle schools.
Narcotic cell PS personnel on Wednesday arrested 2 persons at the narcotic checkpoint Kuzama. The PS personnel detected and seized 48 kg and 980 grams of suspected opium worth approximately 4 crore 89 lakhs 80,000 illicit global market value. The suspected opium was seized from the possession of 2 persons, namely Muntiaz Ali from Uttarakhand and Harpal Singh from Uttar Pradesh, along with vehicle bearing registration number UP21AR 7711. The accused persons were arrested and a case has been registered under NDPS Act for further investigation. The 18th All Nagaland Inter-District Volleyball Tournament 2021 organized by Nagaland Volleyball Association concluded on 25th of November at Indira Gandhi Stadium, Kohima. Deputy Director Youth Resources and Sports Zakedovo Chaze graced the tournament as the chief guest of honor. A total of 13 teams inclusive of both men and women from 7 districts participated in the tournament. Mokokchung team won the first place in men's category, while Kohima team secured the first place in women's category. Furthermore, winning teams and runners-up were awarded with certificates and cash prize of Rs 20,000 and 10,000 respectively.
I hope the NVA will do its best to organize this type of tournament, to continue this inter-district tournament even in the years to come. And I, on behalf of the Department of Youth Resources and Sports, today will assure you that the department will give its full cooperation to the MVA even in the years to come. We all came here to see volleyball matches, not to hear speeches. So, as we are all eagerly waiting for the match to begin, I won't take much time, but once again I thank each and every one of you. And as we conclude and depart today and tomorrow, I wish you.
External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will on Friday chair a virtual meeting of the foreign ministers of Russia, India, China, grouping that will focus on strengthening trilateral cooperation and a review of regional and global issues. This will be the 18th round of talks between the foreign ministers under the RIC mechanism. India took over chairmanship of RIC after the last meeting of the three foreign ministers in Moscow in September last year. The foreign ministers meet periodically under the RIC framework to discuss bilateral, regional and international issues. Miserable condition of road in Kujiabil area, Dimapur, Nagaland was reported on Thursday. The road which begins from Zion Hospital Junction, Kujiabil area, passes through El Hotovi village and Shokukuju village and connects to Kiehe village. The locals in their interview with Nltv explained that the road was covered with massive amount of dust, causing relentless trouble for people commuting through it and even caused breathing problem and allergies for them. The road had no drainage system, which added to the miseries during the monsoon. The locals also complained that the mere 4 to 5 kilometer stretch from Zion Hospital to Zukehe village cost the travellers approximately 1 hour due to potholes and half-ton roads. The locals implored the concerned departments to take urgent steps to curb the miserable condition of roads and improve the livelihood of the locals.
Hello everyone, welcome to Nagaland TV. Sab Manula ka awaz. Aji ami khan ete Tarogachan area te ahina se idu rasta lo porde to ami khan public khan ke dikhao mun ja do. Idu mula straight to Zion Hospital la rasta se to Zion Hospital ba luigina ahibo straight ahigina yedi to New Naga Cemetery de jai du rasta ro apni khan dikhi ase rasta kiman biya hoina ase bishi diri na banai gina ase aro idu rasta to at least 3 to 4 kilometers jai New Naga Cemetery de aro idu ami laga right jaishugulu do Amila right jaishugulu do itu to Fanebar jaishugulu do Zakiye village corner jabo itu to aro apni khan dikha nishna rasta la condition kiman biya ase aro ami age de kwa nishna New Naga Cemetery la jala rasta se to dead body lui jadi time diwi tahala last right lui jada impi iman duk par jaigina destination punche to moi concerned authorities khan ke appeal ase idu rasta to jaldi banai di shigulo do public khan karne bi bishi bhalo hogo na janai di ase.
Nagaland TV sab manula awaz aji ami khan Dimapur town area bahar itu Koshavil area de aina se aro itu Zion Hospital ba ahile dikhi pabo yadi rasta do apni khan saile condition bishi biya ase aro itu Koshavil area bra luigina jado El Lotovi pusti bhali jai aro Shozuk aro Zikihe aro itu rasta do connect kurile Pokajan lok pabo hoilebi huna hisab te itu laga bridge to ite under construction ase bishi diri nobonai kina thagise hoilebi construction work to start hoise apni kan itia rasta laga condition to saile dikhi pabo yade olopi apni kan rasta to saile khali palui dikhibo olopi alkatra nai aro itu rasta do 8-9 sal nobonai kina neglect korna thaka laga rasta ase aro yade household do thousands ase beshi mano duk pai gina daily ahaja gure kapur lagai gina town bungchile puka hoi gina bungche goise apni kan inega pani mari dikha to dikhina beshi khushi pai ase to apni kan pani to idu kile mari ase
aya das ra na para ujo koke gordiwi das allergy bacha hanna aya rasta bi na banai de rasta banao koe huna do hune oli ta to kui na banai beshi duk bai mon bi das ra gorbi sapa ekure khona para uje she itu ra oda pani mar thawle na upai nai
আৰু এইটো পানীটো কোৱা নিচিনা আপুনি ডেইলি মাৰে মৰ্নিং চাম
hoy morning de mare aro morning de marle din de thagolo aram ar din 2 baji 3 baji na marle aro sam de thagole aram na at least 2 times na da marole
ঠিক আছে তো বইনি আপুনি বি গভর্নমেন্ট কে একটা মেসেজ দিবলে কি আছে
government ke message dole do morom rasta banai dile bhal ami hamdi man duk pa ase na ide na pani hali na napara heran jise ide ra morom ba do khushabil ja rasta idu morom ba banai dile bhal na janai dia sami
কি কব না বেশি দুখ পাই আছে গাড়ী আহা যাওয়াটো ইফালে বেশি চলি থাকে পালো গাড়ী কি নহলে বি এইটো পানী নামাৰে গলে থাকিব নাপাৰে ঠুলাটো সব ঘৰতে বংচি যায় গাছ কান্দি সবে একদম শ্বাস লব নাপাৰা নিচিনা না এনেকা ধুলাটো বেছি আহি থাকে ঘৰতে
তো আপুনি এইটো পানীটো ডেইলি মাৰে
হয় এন মাৰ থাকে আমি খান চাম ফুজুৰ
তো এইটো ৰাস্তাটো আপুনি কিমান চাল বনাই নাই গভৰ্নমেন্ট পৰা
ইটাতো আমি একচেকটো ক'ব নাপাৰা হৈছে না 8-10 সাল হয় এইটো এনেকাতো হ'ব 6-7 সাল এনেকা না এইটো সাইডটো নবনাটো বোলে আগে সাইডটো হৈ যাইছে এইটো তিনালিৰ ওচৰটো আৰু এইটো সাইডটো বেছি সাল হৈ যায় এনেকা নবনাটো না ৰাস্তাটো হইতো আছে
Deputy Commissioner Kohima Gregory Tejawaliye has informed that a special e-ashram registration drive for shopkeepers, business establishment, vegetable vendors, taxi and bus drivers, artisan and craftsmen will be held on 27th of November at different locations in Kohima. The locations listed were High School Junction, Tinpati Junction, KZKA Junction, Post Office Junction, Old NST, Union Baptist Church, Villiers Complex, Taxi Stand, TCP Gate, Naga Hospital, Red Cross Junction, Police Headquarter Area, Jail Colony, Stand, South Point Market, Mohon Khola Junction, Leria Junction. A probe was ordered late Wednesday after a document containing details of security arrangement for President Ramnath Kovind's two-day visit to Kanpur surfaced on some WhatsApp groups. The document, with details regarding the security fleet deployment of forces at the venues attended by President Kovind and other protocols, was distributed to senior officials, but was found in circulation on some WhatsApp groups. After which, Kanpur Police Commissioner Asim Kumar Arun ordered an inquiry in this regard. Additional Deputy Commissioner of Police Rahul Mithas has been asked to conduct a probe and find out the details. The President had reached Kanpur on a two-day visit on Wednesday. A strong and shallow earthquake of magnitude 6.1 on the Richter scale was felt in the Myanmar-India border region early on Friday. The earthquake was reported at 5:15 a.m. with its epicenter at a depth of 73 kilometers southeast of Tenzoal, Mizoram. According to the National Center of Seismology, the tremors were felt as far as in the West Bengal, Tripura and Assam in eastern India. The depth of the quake was 12 kilometers. So far, no injuries or damage have been reported. The World Health Organization is expected to convene an emergency meeting on Friday to discuss the potentially rapidly spreading coronavirus strain found in South Africa and Botswana that might make vaccine less effective and scuttle efforts to find the pandemic. Reports said on Friday that the WHO is closely monitoring the reported coronavirus variant and will determine if it would be designated a variant of interest or a variant of concern in the technical meeting on Friday. Rashtriya Janata Dal National President Lalu Prasad Yadav on Thursday hit out at Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. The hit came after the poor rating of the state in the recently released Ayog report. Yadav remarked that Niti Ayog report says that the state is lagging behind from education to health and that Kumar should be ashamed. Lalu further accused Kumar's government of robbery and asserted that his party will return to power in the upcoming elections in the state. India ended day one on a high with Shreyas Iyer and Ravindra Jadeja notching up 50s. India scored 258 for 4 against New Zealand at Thumbs on day one. New Zealand opted for the new ball at the 80-over mark, but Shreyas and Jadeja were too well set in for the later as smashed Jameson for consecutive 4s in the 82nd over. Debutant Shreyas Iyer was guts, aggression and flair rolled into one during an unbeaten knock of 75. Jadeja scored his 17th Test 50s from Shreyas Iyer and Jadeja took their unbeaten partnership 113-run stand. Pacer Kyle Jamieson was the most impressive Kiwi bowler on the first day, returning figures of 3 for 47. Congress party is set to skip the Constitution Day celebration at Parliament Central Hall on Friday. According to sources, Congress leaders Mallikarjun Kharge, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Anand Sharma and Jairam Ramesh speaking to the other opposition leaders to boycott the event. Notably, the President Ramnath Kovind will lead the celebration of Constitution Day live from 11 a.m. onwards. In the wake of multiple cases of new COVID-19 variant B.1.1529 reported in Botswana, South Africa and Hong Kong, the centre has asked states to conduct rigorous screening and testing of all international travellers coming from and transiting through these countries. Health Ministry said that the new variant is reported to have a significantly high number of mutation and thus has serious public health implication for the country, especially at a time when visa restrictions have been released and international travel is opening up. The centre has also asked states and union territories to closely track and test the contacts of international travellers to these countries. The state surveillance officers have also been asked to establish close coordination with their designated or tagged genome sequencing labs for expediting results of genome analysis to ensure necessary public health measures may be taken by the states and union territories in case and presence of variants of concern is reported. That is all for now. This is Gargi Rekha signing off. Keep watching Nagaland TV.